Hello and welcome to this Game Pit Stop for Wildlands, designed by Martin Wallace and published by Osprey Games for 2 to 4 players taking around 90 minutes. In Wildlands, each player is going to take control of a different faction of warriors who are going to be fighting on a board, attempting to take out the other players' heroes and also to collect crystals of their own colour. The first player to 5 points is going to win. Collecting the crystal scores you a point, and taking out any other player's character will also score you 1 point. The whole game is deck driven, and each faction comes with its own individual deck with a different balance of actions that can be taken therein. To start with in a game, each player is dealt out 10 of these cards which have numbers on them which correspond to spaces on the board. They're going to choose 5 of them to keep and put them face down on each of their 5 characters, and that's where those characters will appear during the game. And the other 5 they're going to hand over to the player on their right, and the player, before the game begins, seeds the board with the 5 crystals in the 5 spaces corresponding to the cards they have been handed. On your turn, if you have any unrevealed characters, you must reveal at least one. You can choose to do more. In this case, Joni's got a 38 card, so she's going to appear right there on the board. Then you're going to use cards from your hand. You can only ever have a maximum of 7 cards in your hand in order to take actions. Now, when you wish to take actions, you're looking for symbols of the character you're looking to activate. So in this case, I wish to activate Afan, and it's a scimitar. And there's a scimitar on here. It doesn't matter about the artwork, which means that I can use this card to move any of these 3 characters with their symbols, either Afan or Matilda or Joni. In this case, I'll use it for Afan and move him 1 space down here. The next thing you can do as well as moving is you're going to attempt to attack the other characters. Now, Afan's going to attempt a melee attack again. Symbol is there with a melee symbol. For Garen down here, they've got 2 options. They can attempt to block this either with a specific card for Garen's symbol, or as you can see on the bottom of some of these cards, they've got generic symbols, and in this case a generic guild card would help defend against this lawmaker attack from Afan, and Garen would take no damage. There are also other types of attack. For example, we could use this Lunk card here to walk in, and then Lunk, the walking librarian, could do possibly a double attack, and the larger characters can do big attacks to do double damage on creatures. When creatures take damage, it goes on them. In this case, if Juno took 2 more damage, it would get up to his maximum. He would be flipped over, and the player who did the final damage on there would take that as 1 point towards the 5 they require to win. Now, when a player is taking their turn, they can use as many cards as they want to take multiple actions, but they can be interrupted. So if we break this back down, when Lunk took their move, the player playing the Nomads can declare they wish to do an interrupt by throwing an interrupt card into play, possibly anticipating the worst. Then, following the resolution of the action that was declared, the interrupt action can be taken, and maybe in this case they might use a Juno card to walk away, hoping that Lunk can't follow them, because in the balance of the decks, Lunk hasn't got that many movement cards as opposed to other ones, but he has got stronger attack ones, and all the different factions have got different characters like that. It's not just melee attacks you can do against characters in the same space as you can also do ranged attacks. Now, in this case, we're going to look at Tak, who's going to be attempting to do a long range attack with her musket. Now, she can go through here. These are normal spaces with no cover, and she's looking to attack Hugo. Hugo then would have to take damage or play a shield card from his hand in order to avoid that attack. There are also double damage range attacks, and that's the shield card you require to be able to avoid any of that damage. When it comes to cover, let's say that James here wishes to make an attack. We'd play a James card with that attack on there. Down here, you've got Edith, but she's got a cover space between the 2 of them, so he can't make that attack. So he's going to look to attack into here. If he was just doing a normal attack, then the players controlling the guild would choose which of these 2 characters would take that damage. However, James and other characters have got the ability to do area attacks, which will damage every character in there, make them take 1 damage, unless they can play a shield or a cover card, because this is a cover space, which gives you more options to avoid. Now, there are 2 other types of actions that certain characters can take. Hugo's the only one in the base game who's got the fly option, which allows them to move 2 spaces for 1. But also you've got certain characters such as Elsie here, who can do a rally action, which allows Elsie to move 1 space, and also a character that starts in the same space or adjacent to move a space in any direction, which will help you speed up. Those interrupt cards have also got 2 other functions. You can use them to move any character in your guild, or you can use them to draw 2 cards during your turn. At the end of your turn, you're going to draw 3 cards, but never beyond to have 7 in your hand. The game is going to end either when one player has scored 5 points by collecting their crystals and killing other characters, or if any player gets completely wiped out of the game, whoever's got the most points at that point is going to be the winner of Wildlands. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please find the Game Pit podcast.